All right, sisters, so let's move on to our next recipe. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to make an easy white bean Alfredo pasta. You're going to love this recipe because it is very simple, easy to make, takes less than 30 minutes, and it is very delicious. The ingredients for this white bean Alfredo are very simple. We're going to be using 2 cups of frozen broccoli. Sometimes I just use frozen vegetables because it's just easier and it saves me time and it's going to help you reduce stress. So I encourage you to utilize frozen vegetables when you are in a pinch for time. I'm also using some organic brown rice pasta. Make sure you cook your pasta in accordance with the directions on the package. And we're also going to utilize a chopped up sweet white onion. The ingredients for our sauce is very simple. We're going to utilize some olive oil, coconut secret. Here we have a half teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, a 4th teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to use some freshly cracked black pepper. If you're going to use black pepper, you make sure that it is freshly ground, otherwise don't bother. We also have some water. We are going to use lemon juice. We have a 4th cup of nutritional yeast flakes, a can of white beans, and I also save back the liquid because we may actually need it when we are putting our entire meal together to prevent the sauce from getting too thick. All right, let's make our delicious lunch meal. So first things first, let us boil our brown rice pasta. So you want to make sure you have a pot of water boiling. Put your pasta into the water and boil the pasta as directed to an al dente texture. We're actually going to add the broccoli in shortly before the pasta finishes cooking. While your pasta is cooking, you want to heat up about 2 teaspoons of olive oil in a saucepan to saute your onions. Saute the onions for about 3 to 4 minutes until golden brown, but don't allow your onions to become scorched. The pasta has been cooking for about 8 minutes. At this time, we're now going to add our broccoli so that it can steam with the pasta. And we're just going to let the pasta and broccoli steam together for about 2 minutes. After about 2 minutes, you want to remove your pasta and broccoli from the stove and strain it and leave just a little bit of water behind, maybe about a tablespoon, because that added water is going to help to thicken the sauce when we add it into our pot. Now let's add the ingredients for our white bean sauce. Let's start with the water. The lemon juice. The white beans. The nutritional yeast. The dry seasonings. Let's add our seasoned onions. Add a 4th teaspoon of liquid aminos and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Blend your ingredients in a high-speed blender until smooth. All right, sisters, so let's get ready to assemble our quick Alfredo. So we're going to pour the sauce in with our pasta and our broccoli. Look at how creamy that is. Oh my goodness. So we're just going to heat the sauce gently on low heat until it slightly bubbles a bit. And if you need to add more heat, that's fine too, because you want to get it to bubble up. So I'm now just stirring it on high heat, and as you can see, the liquid or the sauce is starting to thicken. So I'm going to add some of the liquid from the canned beans that we saved back, and we just add a tablespoon at a time. gonna add a little bit more. And we're going to allow our sauce and pasta to bubble up. And while it's doing that, I'm just going to add a pinch of freshly grated black pepper. So you just want to get your pasta nice and hot and bubbling up for a few minutes. And now our pasta is finished. You can turn off the heat now. All right, sister girls, so our white bean Alfredo pasta is now ready to be served. So here's how you can enjoy it even better. To make it even more tasty, you can add a little extra olive oil, a pinch of salt, and some paprika for a little color. You can also add a small amount of grated black pepper. And we are finished. Lunch is served. All right, sisters, so it's now time for dinner. I know many of you, when you come home, you're exhausted, you've been at work for long hours, and you just don't know what to eat. And certainly, if you have fibroids, you want to be very careful of putting in high starchy carbohydrate foods into your stomach late at night. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you how to make an easy teriyaki stir fry that is high in protein and lower on the carbs, which is going to keep you satiated and also is healthier as you progress through your healing journey. Now, this recipe is super easy to make. It takes under 20 minutes and you have your dinner ready, probably even in 10 minutes because it's that easy to make. So let's get into it. Also, before we get started, the nice thing about this recipe is that we pre-prepared some of the ingredients earlier on the weekend. One, you open a can of chickpeas and allow it to drain so that it would be drier, which would be easier for the teriyaki. And also you pre-baked some pumpkin, and that pumpkin is going to serve as a lower starch vegetable that is sweet and going to help to curb any cravings you have for sugar in the evening. And it's very filling, plus it's rich in beta carotene, an antioxidant that you're going to need to help nourish your body so your body can heal itself from fibroids. All right, let's get into our recipe.